Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Photography Enthusiast Podcast. My name is Kwame, and this is episode 1. I am so excited about this. This first episode, I'm going to give you a little background on who I am and what this show is all about. Now, the cool part with this podcast, you can either listen to it or watch it. So if you're listening to it, obviously, you're listening to it on the podcast player of your choice. However, you can also watch it over on YouTube or on my channel, Kwame.me. If you are watching this video, you will see the little beagle in the background. He will be in and out of the show. So in this first episode, I kind of want to give you a background of who I am and my photography journey. Right now, we live just outside of Seattle, Washington, and we moved here recently, like within the last, I think we've been here 7 months now, from Denver, Colorado, and before that, we were in Minnesota. I've been around photography my whole life. My dad is an amateur photographer. He's had cameras around him or with him since the 1960s. So he has always had a camera with him. I've always had a camera around me. But like a lot of people who have something that their parents are into, I really wasn't into photography back then because, it just wasn't something I enjoyed. And really, it wasn't until the digital revolution with these DSLRs and point-and-shoot cameras that I really became enthusiastic about photography. My first DSLR and the camera that kind of changed everything for me was the Sony A300. I got that camera because my first kid, my only kid, was being born that year, and I wanted to be able to take really good pictures of him. And at the time, I was listening to people like Alex Lindsay and Scott Bourne talking about photography, and they always said, if you want to take really good pictures, get a 50 millimeter lens. And so that's what I did. I picked up the Sony A300 and I bought a cheap 50 millimeter lens, and I shot that combination for well over a year. Just that one camera lens combination. I also had like other lenses at the time that came in and out, but that 50 millimeter lens was the lens that I used for pretty much everything, from our kid being born to this guy, our other dog who recently passed away. Like, I was shooting everything, landscapes and trees and all those types of things. And then I was really big on Facebook, and I would post pictures of my kid. And at some point, people started saying like, hey, can you take pictures of our kids? And so I started doing that. I started taking pictures of kids, families, did a couple weddings, some events. So that whole time I was still working a regular 9-to-5 job, and I was just doing this on the sides or like weekends and nights and all that good stuff. And then when we moved to Denver, I decided to just go full time as a photographer. And so I was trying to shoot anything and everything. I got lucky, and a client that I still have today, I still do work for her today, I got hooked up with her, and I was taking her pictures, shooting video. And here's the crazy part with the video. She asked me, hey, can you shoot video? I have some projects I want to work on. And I was like, yeah, of course. Here's a little secret. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't have a camera that could shoot video. I had the Olympus PL3 because I had listened to an interview on This Week in Photography with Mr. David Thorpe. And he was talking about using Micro Four Thirds cameras, which I'd never heard of. However, I was thinking, if this guy, who was a longtime photojournalist, who knew more about photography than I will ever know, in like his little pinky, than I will ever know, then this system, the Micro Four Thirds system, would work for me. So I was doing all that, and then in 2020, when everything kind of shut down, all my photography jobs went away. All my filmmaking jobs stopped. I had to decide if I, really wanted to keep going with this. Now, while I was taking pictures for other people and shooting films and videos for other people, I wasn't really shooting for myself. I was taking like pictures with my phone and that kind of stuff, but as much as I love taking pictures with my phone, for me, it just wasn't fulfilling. The great part with the client that I still work with is I kind of transitioned from photography and video work to more web design work. And so that's what I've been doing with her and some other people. And that gave me the freedom to be able to shoot more personal work, like my family, our friends, the dogs, when we go on vacations or just hikes. And the other thing that the pandemic really brought home to me was shooting our everyday life, because I was like, this is, probably a once in a lifetime situation where the world kind of stops. And how are we dealing with it? And now that we're all at home, there's no karate or baseball or all these activities that we had going on stopped, and it kind of gave us a reset. I really wanted to take advantage of that. So I started taking a picture every day, then more pictures, and then it just kind of snowballed into this carrying a camera everywhere I go. And there's photographer Thurston Oligard, I believe that's how you say his name. His tagline, one of the things that he always says is, you should always carry a camera with you. Like, wear your camera with you. It's the same as wearing a shirt, a hat, pants. You should always carry a camera. And now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm always carrying a camera. I have this one here is the Ricoh GR3X, but I also have the little Fuji XF10. This came out in 2018. The Ricoh GR3X just came out recently, but I'm constantly carrying a camera with me. We just came back from a walk, me and the Beagle, and I was taking some pictures and got some little macro pictures of things that I've never seen before. I feel like when you carry a camera, and this could work with the phone also, but when you have something with you that you're taking pictures with every day, you see the world differently. At least for me, I see the world differently when I have a camera with me. And there are times where I don't, like I've gone out with the dog without one of the cameras, and I see something that I want to take a picture of. I use my phone and it doesn't feel the same. It's not the same feeling that I get when I'm using even, one of these little point and shoot cameras. And when I say, even one of these little, just because this is a small pocket camera doesn't mean that it's not powerful. It doesn't mean that I can't get amazing pictures out of it. And that's the thing that motivates me. That's what makes me get up to take pictures and get excited about taking pictures, is being able to find and see something that I've never seen before, whether it's, light hitting a flower a certain way, or my kid doing something, if he's studying, or he just started a coding class, and so I was taking pictures of him, sitting down and learning how to code. Those everyday moments, right now are kind of boring, but in 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years, those are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe when. A great example of that is our lab recently passed away like 3 weeks ago. We had to put her down, and we were going through pictures, and I was going to make a little book, of her life, and all these pictures that I had forgotten I'd taken from, 2008, 2009, 2010, like all these old pictures, when my kid was like climbing on top of her, and, she was carrying little backpacks on her when we go hiking, all this stuff. I forgot about those pictures. And so now looking back at them, 15 years later, it's quite amazing. And for me, it reinforces why I take pictures, why I do this. And I have no illusion of fame and fortune for my photography. I'm very happy with the life that I have. I'm very happy with the type of photography I'm taking, and I'm getting better every day. That's my goal for this podcast and for you, is to bring on people who may be professional, who aren't professional, who have, really expensive gear, who doesn't have expensive gear. A phrase I like to say is, other people's gear doesn't matter. Whether you're shooting with a Ricoh GR1, a Ricoh GR3, a Hasselblad, or whatever, as long as you're going out taking pictures and taking pictures of things that you like, that's all that matters. Like, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So that's the background of me. Now, about this show is really going to be guided by you, the listener. I am looking to interview people who are like us, people who are into photography, who are enthusiastic about photography. And you don't have to be a professional. You can just be someone who captures the pictures of their kids, capture the picture of your commute to work, capture pictures when you're sitting in traffic, whatever it is. This podcast is all about photography enthusiasts and people who are excited about just carrying a camera every day, or who have a camera and taking pictures every day, every other day, whenever. I'm just excited about photography, and I hope that is coming through to you. For me, this is really about getting out there, taking pictures, doing the work, enjoying yourself, enjoying photography with your friends or family, whatever you got going on, and having fun. If you've made it all the way here, I really do appreciate it. And I do ask for one thing. I ask that you please, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button because it does help out with that algorithm stuff, which I hate. If you're listening to this on whatever podcast platform, please like it and rate it, because then it will help spread this to other photography enthusiasts. And my goal for this podcast and my YouTube channel is to create a community of like-minded photography enthusiasts, people who enjoy taking photography for the fun and love of photography. I think photography should be fun and should be accessible to everyone. You don't need a $5,000 camera to get into photography. You don't need a $3,000 lens to get into photography. You just need a phone or a point and shoot camera and some time. That's all you need. Thank you for listening or watching the first episode of the Photography Enthusiast. My name is Kwame. I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.